Hi Lisa, nice to see you.
Nice to meet you, Alyssa.
My name is Alyssa and I am ProLink's account manager for long-term care. So I appreciate you taking the time to meet with me today. So how's it going?
Pretty good. Work's busy, but
Yeah, almost the end of the week. Thursday
yeah.
afternoon.
Oh my gosh, thank goodness. Yeah, I could use it. It's been pretty crazy.
Yeah,
lately.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Do you have any fun plans this weekend?
I'm going home to see my family.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so fun. Where are you from?
I'm from Illinois.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have a lot of family in the Chicago suburbs. Kind of we're all around the Midwest, but yeah, we're gonna be in the suburbs this weekend.
Gotta love the Midwest.
Oh,
That's so fun. Do you get to go home often?
Oh, not really. I mean, I live out here in Cincinnati, obviously, and I mean, I have a ton of friends out here. My sister lives nearby, so I don't have like a lot of reason to go home a lot. But whenever there's a special occasion or a holiday or anything, it's fun to see everyone.
Yeah.
We get together.
That's so nice. Are you driving?
Yeah, so I'm driving down with my sister that I mentioned
Oh,
together.
nice.
So be a lot of bonding time in the car. I'm not a big road trip person, but
Really? Oh my gosh, I love road trips. I could live in a car.
I love driving, but being the passenger to me is just so boring. I don't know.
That is true. That is true. Are you a music type of person, or are you like podcasts?
I've been so into podcasts lately. I used to like be strictly music, but now I'm so obsessed with
That's how I am.
podcasts.
What's your favorite one?
Okay, so lately I've been listening to Girls Gotta Eat. Have you ever listened to that one?
I've not heard about that.
It's like a relationships podcast. It's so funny. It's so good. It's like two comedians and it's so good. But I love Stuff You Should Know. There's like this like British like fact thing called No Such Thing as a Fish, and it's so good. It's like I think the title comes from like there's like a fact a while ago. It's like these researchers who make this like British trivia show called QI.
Okay.
And so like they find like all these like fun facts like in their research for the show.
That's so
And the
cool.
headline
I think it's kind of like Mythbusters or something.
a little bit, yeah. But like it's like kind of like it's like they like make jokes and stuff and it's like just like a funny like thing you learn so much. But like the title No Such Thing as a Fish comes from this like researcher who like dedicated like 3 decades of his life to studying fish and then like he concluded that there is no such thing as a fish. Which I just think is so funny. I don't know what it is exactly that like that made him think that, and maybe it's just like they're two different. I don't know, but
oh my gosh,
it's
that's
so funny. I highly recommend it. It's so.
I would love to listen to a British podcast.
Oh my gosh, their voices are they're so funny. And then one of the guys is like Australian, and he lived in Hong Kong, and now he lives in the UK. So his voice is just so strange. But like in a good way. But like,
yeah.
I don't know, but they're really funny. I really like it.
That's so cool. I've been so into. Do you like true crime?
A little bit. I don't know. I listened to a couple crime things. I've listened to a little bit of criminal, a little bit of... Is true crime the title of one?
No, it's just
okay,
like a genre.
No. Okay, yeah. I listened to a couple. I listened to like one weird one about like the thievery of Venus flytraps in like Canada. I don't know. It was really weird.
Interesting.
But
my favorite one is called Crime Junkie. They're like 30-40 minute episodes. And like each episode is a different crime that's happened in the United States, and it's so interesting. It's like a real life SVU episode.
Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with SVU. So I probably you would think that I would like
love
the
it,
crime podcast. Oh my gosh,
it's like a little TV show in your head when you're driving.
Yeah, I like that. Oh, I love that so much.
I drove home to Iowa a few weeks ago, and it's an 8-hour drive, and I listened to I think 10 or 15. I think it was like 15.
It goes
podcasts.
so fast.
So fast, and I just listened to it the entire drive, and.
Yeah. Oh,
I was home.
That's so fun. I do like, so I don't like the books on tape, but I do like the ones that like kind of tell a story a little bit.
Yeah.
There's this one that, maybe I shouldn't mention it because this is going to be seen by a professor, but there's like there's another British podcast and it's like this guy and his 2 friends, also like comedians, and they are reading a book that his dad wrote, an erotic novel. So like it's called My Dad Wrote a Porno. And it's so funny. Like, just, it's so funny. So it's like them reading a porno, but then, like, commenting on it and, like, making these funny. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And, like, I listened to, like, 4 books. He wrote a whole anthology. There's another one coming.
Dang.
You can buy it on Amazon. but I like to listen to it because it's really funny.
Yeah, I'm not a big books on tape person just because they're so long.
I
like the episodes of a podcast because they're like 30 minutes to an hour, and then like the next one is a new story.
Yeah.
I just like.
And I also just like feel like it's weird that you have one person doing all the voices and it just sounds silly and just I don't know. So like I like My Dad Wrote a Porno because it's like it's not like a real book. Like they'll read like the chapters are like 10 pages long. And just like they do it by chapter and each one's like a half hour and it's very digestible and whatever, and it's also like there's no real plot. It's a porno. Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing really to follow, you know, like, it's like this businesswoman or whatever, and sometimes she'll have a sales deal, and she'll, actually very relevant, she's a saleswoman, she sells pots and pans. So,
well, we're selling healthcare staffing.
yeah, pretty similar. I could learn a couple things from her. Yeah, it's actually classified, the book on Amazon is classified in, like, the, like, adult fiction and in, business and leadership.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Hey, 2 for 1. What else?
Yeah.
What more could you ask for?
Yeah.
That's so funny. Okay, well, I know your time is valuable. So when we spoke on the phone, you said you had about 30 minutes. Is that still sound good?
That's
Okay,
good.
do you mind if I take notes during our meeting?
Of course, yeah.
Okay, awesome. So the purpose of today's meeting is for us to understand kind of what your needs are at the lodge, where those needs are coming from, and what we can do to help you, and if a partnership here makes sense. So I'll start by saying ProLink. Here at ProLink, we specialize in providing full service contract to hire, and direct hire full placement for all your healthcare needs in a timely and efficient manner. So I'm just going to ask you some questions about your time at the lodge. So how long have you been in your role here? What is your role? And you're the director of nursing?
Yeah, I've been the director of nursing for 2 years, and I've been with the lodge for 5 years. So before that, I was actually a registered nurse.
Okay, awesome. So you've been here for 5 years, so what do you like about it? What keeps you around?
I really just love, I love a lot of my coworkers. People go into this business because they really care about people and they really care about helping people. And it's just like a really great environment. Like, we really try to make the lodge a home and have this like family community, with, you know, each other and our residents and really everyone. And yeah, I think that really is what it feels like.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, it definitely needs to be a home for all your residents. So how are things going at the lodge overall?
It's pretty good. I mentioned earlier, it's just like kind of like crazy right now. Things are busy. Like, our beds are all full, and we're kind of like scrambling sometimes just to like make sure that they're all taken care of, and and that there's people, you know, where they need to be, and we have enough people. But like, oh my gosh.
You're good.
But anyways, right now it's just been kind of like we've had some issues just trying to get everything organized and getting everyone where they need to be.
Okay.
Because sometimes it's not very dependable. Our workforce.
Okay. So have you had experience in the past using staffing agencies?
Yes, we actually currently use Maxim. Yes, and we've been using them for a couple years now.
Okay, and are they filling your needs on a shift-by-shift basis, or do you have any contracts with them?
It's strictly shift by shift. We've never done any contracts.
Okay. How has your experience been using Maxim as a staffing agency?
It's been okay. We've had a couple issues just in like the lack of consistency. So, like, in terms of like the quality of the candidates, some of them are a lot better than others. Some of them don't show up. Some of them do. It's kind of hit or miss. And then sometimes they'll place someone for us. They'll confirm so and so, and then it turns out that a completely different person shows up to that shift. So like we really we just don't have a consistency in terms of like the people we're getting every day, and then the number of shifts being covered.
Okay. Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
You definitely need people to cover those shifts to make sure your residents are taken care of. So what kind of talent are you using staffing agency for?
We are only using them to staff STNAs and LPNs. We don't have a need right now for any RNs. Okay.
Well, that's a good sign at least. So how many shifts a week are you typically having to fill?
We have about 100 to 110 open every week.
And then how many do you actually fill?
Maxim fills between 70 and 75 of those.
Okay, so there's definitely room for more.
Yeah, definitely.
Have you ever considered doing a contract-based hiring with Maxim? Do they offer that?
They don't offer that. I'm a little interested to hear about that because we've never had that experience. But really what we want is to get agencies out. We don't want to have to deal with that anymore. We'd like it to just be all our own people.
Okay. Have you ever brought on anyone direct from an agency?
We don't really keep track of it just because it's very infrequent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't know. It's definitely not a common thing for us.
Okay. That's good to know. Okay, so what would you say with the agency workers that you are getting? What seems to be like the biggest problem?
I think it would just be that they don't seem very invested. Like as I said before, sometimes they won't show up, or they'll come late, or when they do come, they don't really do their best work.
Okay. That's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these residents are relying on them for their help, so
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
definitely. So when you are working with an agency to fill these shifts, fill these spots, what are some of the qualifications that you look for in these talents?
We want someone who has a lot of experience, obviously, a good educational background, and like all the necessary like certifications and you know the word I'm thinking about. Anyway,
Yeah.
they have like all of like the things on paper that we're looking for, but we also really want someone who is really caring and has like really good interpersonal skills, because they do, you know, ideally they will spend a lot of time with our residents, and especially with their Alzheimer's and dementia patients, like it's really important that they see someone every day who, well, one, that's the same person, but two, that person is giving them really good care, and they are attentive to their needs, and they actually care to build a relationship with them.
Okay, so are you looking for STNAs and LPNs to work with the Alzheimer's and the dementia patients?
Yes.
Specifically? Okay. Good to know. Yeah, there's definitely, we've noticed just from working with a bunch of different LPNs and STNAs that people are trained in different areas, so that's good to know that that's what specifically what you're looking for.
Yeah.
So when you're working with another agency, how long does it typically take for you to, when you call them, you need a spot filled, what does that turnaround look like?
It's about a week.
A week? Okay. Good to know. And then for the job openings that you are receiving, how many profiles do you usually get per opening?
We actually don't get any profiles. They just give us a name, and that's the person that we're expecting to show up.
Okay.
No info about them.
Okay. We're kind of just handing you them on a silver platter. Like, fingers crossed, hope it works out.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's okay. So you said that all of your beds were currently full. How many patients do you typically take care of?
We have about 200 beds.
Okay, so you really do need around-the-clock care.
Yeah.
Okay. Are there any other pain points that you've noticed with your other agency workers that aren't fulfilling your needs?
I mean, I think I really hit on it. Like, the biggest things are just the consistency and then, like, the customer service.
Okay.
That's just kind of inconsistent right now.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to take a few minutes to go over what we've talked about so far. So you have worked at the Lodge for 5 years, and you stay there because it is a home, it is a community, you're taking care of these residents, you are their family, but you are struggling to fill shifts needed that the residents need STNAs and LPNs to take care of them, and that's where you're kind of lacking. You are working with another staffing agency, but you are only filling shift by shift needs. It's not very common to hire directly from those agencies, which is something that makes us a little bit different, which we can definitely talk about. You're looking for experienced workers with the right certifications who have good interpersonal skills, and you're looking specifically for talent to be working with Alzheimer's and dementia patients and residents. Does that sound good? Do you think I missed anything?
No, I think you covered it all.
Okay, awesome. So thank you for giving me some of your time today and the opportunity to learn more about you and your needs at the lodge. What I want to do now is take this back with me with my team, and we're going to create a customized presentation for you and kind of tell you a little bit about us and how we can help you with your needs. So does this time next week work for you?
Yep, that's great.
Okay, awesome. So I will set that up and send you a Google invite. I'm looking forward to our next meeting.
Right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Lisa. Good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
How was your weekend with your family?
Oh, it was great. Yeah, I love going back and visiting. So
Yeah.
cool.
Did you listen to good podcasts?
Oh my gosh, definitely. Yeah, it made the 4-ish hours a lot easier.
Good. I'm glad. That's so fun. All right, well, let's just get straight into it.
All right.
I'm going to start by recapping our last meeting. So currently, you at the Lodge Director of Nursing, you are looking for STNAs and LPNs to fill shifts for work, specifically working with Alzheimer and dementia patients and residents. You're currently working with another staffing agency to fill as needed shifts on a PRN basis, but you're only filling about 70% of your open shifts. And with those agency workers, you are having issues with consistency and them actually showing up and being invested in the residents. And when you are filling those shifts, you don't really get a choice. You're kind of just stuck with who you're sent with, which sometimes is good, but sometimes can turn out badly. Does that all sound accurate?
Mm-hmm.
Did I miss anything?
No, you covered it.
Okay, so let's get straight into it. So as I said in the previous meeting, here at ProLink Staffing, we specialize in fulfilling your healthcare staffing needs, and we specialize in contracts and contracts to hire, which we recommend doing over a PRN as needed basis. So what a contract and contract to hire is, a contract is you would sign a contract with one of our agency workers, and they would be a consistent show up at your place. They would come in whenever you need them to, like 3 days a week, 4 days a week. Come in, be with your patients and your residents every day, day in and day out. So that's a great option. And then our other option is, you mentioned that you have never really brought on directly from a staffing agency, but that one of your main goals is to eventually get staffing agencies out of the building, which makes my job a little harder. But at the end of the day, it is what's going to be the residents, what's in the best intentions for the residents. So contracts to hire are a way for us to hire an STNA or an LPN to work with you, and it's kind of like a try before you buy type thing. So they'll work for you for about 6 months, and at the end of that duration, you have the option of keeping them on contract or kind of just disengaging with them, or you have the option to hire them on directly to your internal staff. So that's what makes us a little bit different when it comes to different staffing agencies, because we have these options that are really suitable. As you said in the last meeting, you really struggle with consistency, and when people are coming in every single day, like, they need to be consistent, they need to show up, and they need to show up not just physically, but they need to be invested in their residents, and we have found a huge amount of success with these contract and contract to hire agency workers. Another thing that goes along with that is we have this program called Your Link to the Right Hire program. I've talked a lot about how our workers are better than other agency workers, and I'm not just saying that because I believe it. I'm saying it because it's a proven fact with this program. So this program is specific to ProLink. We start off with doing a customer discovery, which is basically what we're doing right now, what we did in the last meeting, where I come in and I sit down with you and I really get a good understanding of what's going on with you at the lodge, what your needs are, and how I can help you. And then I turn it over to my recruiter, and they start the sourcing process. So we have a number of different ways to recruit talent, whether that be on recruiting websites within our own internal database, from referrals, from LinkedIn, from social media. We have so many ways, and we kind of bring a pool of talent together, and then we move on to the screening process, which is when a recruiter will personally interview every single candidate. They'll go to coffee with them, and then they'll invite them back to our office, and they really sit down and make sure they're qualified, make sure they're consistent, make sure they're compatible with your needs. Further on in the screening process, we run background checks, we run drug tests, whatever you would want as a facility or workers to have. we would do for you. And we also check all of their references to make sure that they have had a good track record. And you said in the last meeting that you're really looking for experienced workers, just to make sure that they are qualified. Next, we go into the selection process. So as you said in the last meeting, you don't really get a profile to choose from. You kind of just get stuck with whoever they send. In our selection process, we will give you 1 to 2 candidate profiles that you would then check out for yourself. We do all the hard work, all the back work. We kind of just hand them to you and say, okay, you can call them and pick one that's going to best be fit for you. Because if we are hiring for you on a contract to hire basis, we want you to make sure that you have input into who you're hiring. And then the last step that is something that ProLink does differently than everyone else is that our recruiters are in constant communication with our agency workers throughout their entire contract duration with you, whether that be a contract or a contract to hire. If there's ever any issues with them, if you are having problems, we are that middleman that will help work it out. And we're always making sure that they're doing a good enough job at work with performance evaluations and all that kind of good stuff. So we really are making sure that we are delivering you the best talent possible so you can get those consistent workers like you had mentioned. So aside from this, another great thing about the contract and contracts to hire has to do with your residents' care. Like you said in the last meeting, your facility is a home and it's a community, and you want it to stay that way, and you want it to be that way for all of your residents. So by having these contract and contract to hire agency workers, it's really providing a level of accountability that a lot of agencies don't give to their workers. A lot of times you see agency workers, they come in, they don't do a good job, they don't show up, and they do because honestly they can, because they just get up and go to the next facility. With these workers, that's not really an option for them. So they are accountable, they're showing up, they're doing a good job. And then also for your residents, these contract and contract to hire agency workers, your residents are getting a greater continuity of care. Especially, it's so important for residents with memory impairments to be seeing the same people day in and day out so they're comfortable with them. And we found that these contracts and contract to hire employees and STNAs and LPNs, they really are able to build lasting relationships with these residents. They know how to take care of them. They know what they like, what they don't like, and the residents respond really, really well to them. So how does all of that sound?
It sounds perfect.
Awesome. So our billing rates for STNAs are $28 an hour, and then our billing rates for our LPNs are $45 an hour, and then our contracts are a year long and they renew automatically unless you don't want them to, and then our contracts to hire are about 140 hours, which is roughly around 6 months. So how does that sound to you?
That is more than what we're paying with Maxim right now, but I think it would be worth it for the service that you've been describing to me. And I think we'd like to do the contract to hire.
Awesome. I think so too. I think that's a great option for you. Like you said previously, you want to get agencies out of the building, and this is a great way to start. It's a really great long-term solution for your facility. Mm-hmm. So when would you like to get started?
As soon as you can.
Okay, awesome. I will bring this back to my team, and we will set up a contract for you to fill out and to sign, and I'll get that to you by the end of the day.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. I'm looking forward to doing business with you.
Yeah.